Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome back to the Indianapolis Arrows franchise. Last episode, we had the draft, and we really got to see, probably one of the best draft classes we will have in this series. We drafted 3 of our top 5 scouted players that were ranked in the top 5. That is just amazing, and I am very, very excited for the future. But this season has been special. We have been lighting it up, especially pitching, and we have 3 guys getting votes. We have, as far as starting pitching, we have Jordan Montgomery, Jose Urquidy. We'd have to go all the way down here, though, to really see, another guy. But we do get some votes this year for 3 starting pitchers, the third one being Todd Workman. Relief pitchers, not so much. We had to go pretty far down to get to Jacob McDonald and Carl Edwards Jr. McDonald is having an excellent season. Now, he was drafted back in season number 1, and he pretty much went up to the pros like at the halfway point and stayed, at the MLB level, and he's having an amazing year after a pretty down year last year. But probably the best guy out of the bullpen who's having a great year is Archie Bradley. It's just so funny. Like, Archie Bradley is one of those guys that just sticks around here in this series from the original squad. He has a .61 ERA and a .91 whip. He's having the best year of his career, 26 saves at the All-Star break. He's on his way to having his career high. Obviously, winning does that to you as well, but he's having a great year. Salvador Perez is actually second in voting for catching, so that is awesome. He is having a good year, first year with the Arrows. Paulo Reyes is actually not getting as many votes as he has in years past, probably because he's not hitting as many home runs, but he is hitting for average a lot better. His overall has went down, his power has went down a little bit, but his contact has went up, so it's actually like boosted his average quite a bit, which I'm actually pretty happy about. At third base, how about Orlando Quintana, who we were going to draft in season 1's draft at number 9 overall. It was between Quintana along with who we drafted, Ray Gonzalez. Both players ended up being really good picks, so I think we made the right choice with Gonzalez. Gonzalez is getting votes, but he's not going to make the All-Star game. Looking in the outfield, we do see a guy that we wanted to trade for getting votes ahead of Keith Rice. That is Akil Baddoo. Jack Sawinski's down there as well, and then in right field, Alex Verdugo's getting, it looks like he's going to be 5th in voting here in the AL right field. So now to see who actually did make the All-Star team, because we didn't have a lot of position players getting votes, so I think that we're pretty locked in, and Jose Urquidy is going to get the All-Star nod, Jordan Montgomery as well, and Archie Bradley does. Okay, Archie Bradley was like 3rd or 4th voted. I was surprised that he was going to make it in, but I thought his numbers definitely supported that. But we get 3 pitchers here in the All-Star game. We've only had 1 at most through the first 3 seasons, so it's definitely nice to see that we are getting more players in the All-Star game. So we will hop straight into some action here, and we'll see what Jordan Montgomery can do. Each pitcher will get an inning here as Jordan Montgomery comes into the game in the top of the 3rd inning. Ronald Acuna will ground out to short. Easy play right there. Montgomery is hitting free agency this coming off season, so we will definitely try to re-sign him. He's definitely had a career year this year and definitely can show that, when he's got the bats that back him up, he's pretty much an ace. So I'm very, very happy about that. Bryce Harper to the plate now, 1 for 1 today, 1-2 pitch. He hits 1-2 second base. That's an easy play there. And we will get the 1-2-3 inning for Jordan Montgomery. So on to the next inning. Jose Urquidy comes onto the mound here, and he will face Pete Alonso to lead off the inning. He's hitting .328 on the year, and he will check his swing. He goes around. A slider on the outside half. That will be strike 3. Austin Riley comes to the plate. Same result. It's a circle change in the lower part of the zone. His 2nd strikeout in a row. We'll see if he can go for the hat trick here as Ozzie Albies comes to the plate now. He hits one well to right field. This one back at the track, and it stays in the park. Aaron Judge is under that one, and we will get out of the first 2 innings with our first 2 All-Stars. So Archie Bradley comes to this game late, up 5-2 now, as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes into pinch hit. Remember, he signed with the Rockies in the offseason. He hits one well to center field. This one back at the wall, and it keeps going. It's a home run. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. gives us our first run given up by our All-Stars, and that one was launched to center field. It's still 5-3, though. Thairo Estrada comes to the plate now. He hits one to second base, and Bradley will get his first out of the game. The funny thing about that home run given up by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is, remember, Archie Bradley's ERA was .61. He had not given up pretty much like any runs this year. And then Will Smith comes up and hits one to right center. So now they have a man on second base here with one out. Ozzie Albies to the plate now. He hit the ball well earlier, but stayed in the yard as Archie Bradley gets him to swing and miss. Trey Turner to the plate now. Ground ball to third. That one will be an easy play for Devers, and we get the out at first base. So our guys do their job. We only give up 1 run through 3 innings, and we end up in the AL getting the win in this one, 7-3. Alek Manoah did start the game. He gets the win as well. Archie Bradley gave up our only run here in the All-Star game for our pitchers. And you got to love it, though. 3 All-Stars this year. I'm very, very happy about that. Sad that it had to be all pitchers, but it's okay. You know, our offense is going to come around, especially, you know, coming to the trade deadline. We're going to look to add some pieces. We are 50-40, so we are very, very competitive in a very competitive AL wild card chase as well. So if we don't win the division, we're going to have our work cut out for us in that race. And we have 2 major injuries, Ojo Taikon and Keith Rice, both outfielders. Ojo Taikon is about 2 to 3 weeks away, so we are going to see him probably soon. But we'll see, you know, what he comes back to, honestly, because we don't know if he's going to come back and go on a slump or just come in hot. Who knows? But I'm probably going to bring him back and start him at AAA. So I do want to get a guy that's going to supplant that, or at least fill in the DH spot. I think about Akil Baddoo from a couple episodes ago, and then Joey Meneses also. Meneses was a rookie back in 2022, and he was like 30 years old. So now he's 33 years old. But look at the numbers. I mean, he is hitting excellently here in the show. All OPS is over at least 800. He's hitting for high average. I think he is the sure guy to trade for. The Nationals are rebuilding. So you guys said I should trade for Meneses. I agree. So I decided to offer up, you know, I got to offer up a pretty good player, and I offer up Julian King, who is a B potential middle infield prospect. It's going to take quite a bit to get him. And then we decide to offer up another pitcher. And I think that one thing that we do have to do is probably break up our 2 left-handers who we drafted last year. Juan Rosario is 18 years old. He is B potential, 80 exactly. Leo Gonzalez is 79 potential, so only 1 potential lower, but he's having the much better year. I got to go with the guy who's probably going to have the much better year, only because I'm just projecting here, not because of the age. Obviously, Juan Rosario is 18. I'm going to offer him up in this trade, especially if we need to make a move to get us over the top, and the Nationals do accept that deal. So Meneses will hit in the DH spot right now, and if we need him to play in the outfield, we could play him probably just in left field because he is a very poor fielder. And the victim of this move, Brandon Crawford, who, like I said, is now playing in the 3rd season with us, really, he is not doing well. I mean, he is probably on his last leg here. It's probably going to be his last year. He's definitely not hitting well at all at age 39. So he will get moved down to AAA. So here we go, fresh off of the All-Star game, and Joey Meneses will make his debut with the Indianapolis Aeros. We are 10 games over 500. We have never been this good. And we are, 8 games away from our win total from last year, so that is amazing. And we will face the Los Angeles Angels. UC Meneses will hit second in our lineup behind Ray Gonzalez. Our top 6 will fluctuate quite a bit. I don't know what that order is going to look like, but I'm going to hit Meneses up and move Reyes down right now to 6, and we'll see what happens. So here's Meneses coming up for his first AB. He's hit 20 home runs on the year. That would lead our team already. He gets a good pitch to hit, but this one's hit right to left field. That one will be caught. Meneses is a guy that's got excellent hitting ratings, so I'm very, very excited about that. And hitting him at the top of the lineup is going to be crucial. Pat Washington up in the 4th inning with guys on 1st and 2nd. He gets a hold of one deep to left field, and it's going to be gone. Pat Washington with a 3-run home run. Talk about a guy that's taking advantage of an injury. Ojo Taikon went out. Pat Washington got his opportunity to play, and he's hitting like 260. He's never hit this well, and he's, look at this, hitting for power now. We already know he's got good wheels. He's got good fielding attributes as well, and he makes it 3-0. So here is Joey Meneses up for his 3rd AB here in the top of the 5th inning. Patrick Sandoval still on the mound now. His 91st pitch will be low. That one will be a ball. He works it to a 3-1 count now as he gets one low again, and Meneses gets a hold of this one. Mike Trout giving chase. Back at the wall. It's gone. Meneses goes deep in his first game with the Arrows on the road here versus the Angels and makes it 4-0. We know he came in with a lot of pop on his bat, and he makes it known here. And how about that, Jack? 401 to center field off of Patrick Sandoval, and that one will actually end Sandoval's day. So Meneses is 2 for 3 so far in this game as we move on to the 7th inning as Jose Soriano comes into relief. And look at Meneses. He gets a hold of this one, but just gets under it. I thought that was going to be gone. Like the way that came off of the bat at first, like it was a well-hit ball. But Meneses has an excellent debut here with the Arrows, and it propels a 4-0 victory here on the road as Jose Urquidy gets his 10th win on the season. He's having an excellent year here for the Arrows as well. But you gotta love what you see out of Meneses. He's definitely gonna add some much needed pop to the lineup. And obviously our batting average isn't as high as what we would have hoped for, but I think we're still doing pretty well. Like I think honestly, you're not going to be expected to be a top 5 hitting team after just 3 seasons. So I'm very, very happy with that trade after seeing that game. So last episode we had the draft, and I won't show all of the signings, but because it's kind of boring, but as you can see, we are offering, these contracts. And the funny thing about the last draft, I don't know if you guys caught it, but Enrique Villalobos had an $8 million bonus demand when we first started the draft. And since he fell to the compensatory round A, that fell down to $2 million. I was actually pretty surprised because I thought that the signing bonus stayed the same depending on no matter where they were drafted, but it seemed like it moved a lot, $6 million less. And at that time I was pretty scared to draft Villalobos because I didn't think that I would have enough money to sign him along with our other draft picks, but it ended up working out. So now after the All-Star game, we already made one trade and we get another trade offer, this time from the Giants. They're offering up Yu Chang, who is a middle infielder who can play pretty much every infield spot. But the Giants, they are in a rebuilding state a little bit, but I don't think we need a middle infield shortstop. They want Jay Almonte, who was our minor league player of the year. And to be quite honest with you, he is probably top 2 to be it again. Like he could get another boost because of his performance. But I think that there's a guy that a pitcher that we drafted last year in John Washington, who is pitching excellently, and he could have something to say about that. But the funny thing about this is that off camera, I actually got another trade offer for Jay Almonte, and it was Ray Ramirez. Now, if you remember back in season number 2, Ray Ramirez was the number 1 MLB rated prospect. He ended up going, I think, number 6 overall. We passed on him going number 1. We drafted Terrell Blake in his place, and I think we made the better move there. Terrell Blake is still developing. He's still got probably 2 years left in his development before he's ready for the show. But I like what he's doing so far this year. So why not check him out at the AAA level with the Omaha Storm Chasers? This is his first year at AAA. Last year he dominated at AA, ended up earning our Pitcher of the Year award, where he got one boost in all of his statistical categories as a pitcher. And here's what we kind of look like at AAA. We have some interesting guys who have been up and down in the minors and the majors. Liover Peguero is one. Now, if we make another move, Peguero might be a good trade chip to include. He is still be potential, 25 years old. Alex Matheny is an outfielder who's still developing. Bruno Reyes is a 19-year-old outfielder. We drafted him in the 3rd round in season number 2. So he is hitting 293. Tyrone Johnson is a power hitting first baseman. We've seen him before in this series. He has been a home run masher in the minors, but hasn't translated to the pros, to the MLB level. And then Jay Almonte hits 6 in the lineup. He's the only player hitting over 300 in the entire organization right now. So here we go. Here is Liover Peguero leading off the game, and he hits a chopper to shortstop. That one will be the first out of the inning. Alex Matheny comes up now. He gets one low in the zone, and this one's just going to be a fly ball to right field. 2 up, 2 down here for the Storm Chasers, as that brings up Bruno Reyes, who I really like in our organization. He's about 74 overall right now. I like him for depth. He can also play in the field quite a bit, so he is actually a guy that will be a good fielder. He's got a decent arm in the outfield, but he lines out to second base. Terrell Blake gets the start now, and we'll see what he can do, as he is going to be obviously a future part of the rotation as he faces a decent lineup here, as that one will be a ground ball to second for the first out of the game. Luke Waddle up to the plate now. Ground ball once again to Liover Peguero playing short. Good strong throw over to first, and 2 up, 2 down here for Omaha. Now facing the third batter in the lineup, a third straight ground ball. Tyrone Johnson steps on first, and that is a 1-2-3 inning for Terrell Blake. Bottom 2 now. Here is Urbaez to the plate, hitting in that 6th hole. He's hitting 235 on the year, and that was Terrell Blake's weakness last year. He just walked a ton of guys. He's definitely cut that down this year, but he does recover here in the 2nd inning. He hits a spot right there, and I think the umpire would have called that a ball, but the check swing gets him to go around. So here is Jay Almonte, who everybody wants in trades. He hits one well to right field. That one will be a single. Almonte is a guy that I do want to keep an eye out for. He is 20 years old. He is in the low 70s overall. He is a guy that I really like, but he can swipe bags. I was trying to swipe one right there, and he gets picked off, as he is about 60 speed, but he's got 80 base running aggressiveness and 80 stealing, so he can definitely swipe some bags, even though he's kind of slower. He's 62 speed to be exact. But this is what he does well. He gets base hits, so I think even hitting him at the top of the lineup eventually at the MLB level could be a feasible thing, because he just gets on base and he's going to score a lot of runs. So 2 for 3 in this game, as he hits one well to center field here in the top of the 8th inning with men on first and second. That one will be good enough to move the runner over to third, even with 35 speed. The throw was offline. So here is Bruno Reyes now in the top of the 9th inning. As he comes up, I want to highlight one of his ABs here, as he hits one well to the left side. That one gets through the infield for a little insurance here for the Storm Chasers. And Bruno Reyes has an RBI. Reyes is a guy to look out for probably next year. I don't know if I'd move him up this year. If I do need another bat, that's the only way I would probably move him up during the September call-ups. But I still want to allow him to develop. He was 18 years old when we drafted him, and now he's going through his 2nd minor league season. But we do get the victory here, 3-1. Terrell Blake pitches great in this one, 7 2/3 innings, strikes out 7, walks 2. So he was a very good pitcher today. So back to the MLB level, where our Indianapolis Arrows are coming fresh off of the All-Star break. We won 2 of 3 versus the Angels, and now we face the Atlanta Braves up 5-0. Todd Workman looking for the complete game shutout here, but now he runs into trouble. Here's Austin Riley, who hits one well down the right field line. That one will get all the way to the wall, and it will score 2, and Riley breaks the tie here, or at least a shutout, I should say, and Workman gives up 2 runs there. Workman's been a guy that's been extremely good this year in probably the bottom half of our rotation, but I like that because he has been, a crucial part of us getting wins this year. As you can see, he gave us a 5-0 lead. So here we go. Matt Olson now into hit, and he strikes out swinging as we bring in Jalen Beeks out of the bullpen, who has been struggling this year. Here is Vaughn Grissom, who comes up and hits one well to the left side. That one gets to the outfield. Jack Sawinski comes up throwing, and it's now a 5-3 ball game. So Jalen Beeks gives up a single right there, an RBI single that brings up Ozzie Albies, who hits one well to left field. This one's back, and it's a tie ball game. The Atlanta Braves score 5 in the 8th and do tie this game up. Unbelievable. Jalen Beeks comes in. He was supposed to be a guy that was going to be kind of a cornerstone. I wouldn't say a cornerstone, but a good piece in the bullpen. And he gives up a shot right there. We take him out of the game immediately after that. So now on to the bottom of the 8th inning. Here is Salvador Perez at the plate. He hits one well to right field. And that one is back at the wall. And it keeps going. It's a home run. Salvador Perez breaks the tie. It's 7-5. Perez was second in the All-Star voting for catchers, and he did not make the All-Star game. I don't know why he did not, but I guess another team probably had to have one of their players in, and Salvador Perez just absolutely crushes that one right there. 97 up in the zone, and Perez goes with it. It's 7-5. Is that brings in the guy that's been untouchable this year, Archie Bradley, except for in the All-Star game. 2 straight knuckle curves will get Riley to swing and miss, and we get the victory here, 7-5, despite the 5-run comeback in the 8th inning from the Braves. How about that? How does that work? Jalen Beeks gets the win. That's just ridiculous. Archie Bradley, his 28th save of the year. He's having a career year. He's also going to be a free agent. I don't know what to do with Archie Bradley. Like, he has been unstoppable this year, but he's obviously not the highest overall or potential guy. We'll see. I don't know if I want to move him to the bullpen because he's been such a dominant closer, so we'll have to see. So after seeing that game, I kind of evaluate Jalen Beeks, and I just do not like him in the rotation or in the bullpen at all. Like, he has struggled. Last year, he had a 3.36 ERA, a 1.34 whip. Okay. But then this year, he's completely dropped off, and it's getting ridiculous now. Like, he has blown quite a few games. Like, I've quick managed some games off camera just to see who comes into the game to pitch, and every time he comes in, it's tough. Like, every team hits him well. So I'm definitely going to be looking to add a reliever out of the bullpen, probably just to boost this bullpen just a little bit to get us through those tough situations like that, like we just faced. So there are a couple of guys here. Camilo Duval is available. He is the top guy on the trade block. He's been a lifelong San Francisco Giant. It will probably take a lot to get him. So I decided to go after a guy that probably won't take too much, and that's going to be Dylan Tate. I'm not sure why the Red Sox would want to trade him because the Red Sox are still competing this year, but I kind of start to evaluate it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, why would the Red Sox trade this guy? He is dominant. Like, there is no reason for them to trade him. So I go to a team that's obviously rebuilding and a team that's been active in the trades so far of this series, and that's the Milwaukee Brewers. For some reason, they just keep making trades. Looking at their team, they have a lot of young pieces, including Manuel Soriano, who is an 18-year-old first baseman who can play the middle infield. He can also play right field, and he's really, really good as a hitter as an 18-year-old. I mean, he is pretty much a prodigy there, and he is probably the piece they are building around. But the one guy that I see here that I could acquire here because they need to continue their rebuild is Meneses Cabrera. He's having an excellent year, and he is going to be a free agent next year. So this makes a lot of sense for the Brewers to move on. They're not competing anyway. And we decide to offer up Liover Peguero. So we give them a young, nice middle infield piece for a piece that can get us to the playoffs. This is a one-year rental, obviously, and Liover Peguero is hitting decently at AAA, but he can definitely help a team rebuild. That is kind of what he is. He's a young infielder still. He hasn't quite developed the way I've wanted him to, and especially to probably take the reins of shortstop. He had a chance to do that, and to me, he was just a rotation bench guy, a guy that can fill in spots. So I decided to make that trade, and we get a new reliever out of the bullpen in Meneses Cabrera, who immediately goes to the top as far as overall in the bullpen. So that is awesome. So we made our 2 trades to make our run here in this season, and we start to really, turn up our offense. Ian Happ had 9 RBIs in that game just now as we get a big victory versus the Oklahoma City Wranglers 13-6. And then looking at the end of the trade deadline, usually there's a ton of trades that happen. This time there wasn't. Brock Burke was the biggest piece to get traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks. But besides that, there wasn't too many moves that happened. And looking at who made trades, the Brewers made another one trading Jackson Chourio, which I'm surprised. Another young player they traded away. Jesus Sanchez goes to the Yankees, so they get a nice little outfielder piece to add to their lineup. But besides that, not too many moves were made. And also Willy Adames got traded as well. So we get into the month of August, and we do continue to win games, starting the first 2 games of the month versus the Oklahoma City Wranglers, and they have hit a wall. They are back to their rebuilding ways. They were competitive in the first, 10 games or so of the season, and now they have come back down to earth, and they are the second to worst team in the division. So after those string of wins, we actually end up taking over first place over the Guardians, and we're up 1.5 games as the Guardians went on a 3-game losing streak. So they gave us first place right there. And you could just see, like, in the AL wildcard chase, I mean, we have 63 wins. The AL leader right now in the wildcard chase has 60. So, I mean, it's a pretty tight race as we approach I would say, a pretty difficult month of August. We play Boston, we play Baltimore, who had the #1 pick in the draft, but they also won a championship 2 years ago. Then Minnesota, a rival of ours in the division, Boston on the road, and then Cleveland on the road, then Baltimore again at the end of the month. So this could be challenging, but I am up for the challenge. I'm excited for the moves that we made at the deadline. Let me know what you guys think of those moves as well, and we'll see if we can make this run for the division or the wild card spot next episode. Hit subscribe, hit that like button, stay tuned, let's get it, let's go.
I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tenant. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash, and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side, but I'm from the east side. This how we slide, this how we ride, yeah, this how we ride.